The final torchbearer enters the stadium. He is followed by 4 runners. They represent the 5 continents depicted in the rings of the Olympic symbol. Kip Keino is given the honor of representing Africa.
The Irish boxers with me. One of them, perhaps the most experienced of all, Mick Dowling, and another, the most inexperienced, I suppose, in international boxing, Christy Elliott. Christy, this is your big day in international boxing. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's great. You know, I just can't believe I'm here. Like, it's still trying to get over it.
Your first international was when?
It was in America. It was in May in America.
And that's when you celebrated your 21st birthday.
First birthday, yeah.
Well, have you gone to the trouble of trying to find out who's in your weight over here, or does it interest you in detail?
No, it doesn't interest me. I know them soon enough, and I'm not facing them in the ring. I know them, like, you know.
Well, you never had so much time at training, I suppose, as you've had here. Do you feel fitter than you ever felt before?
Yeah. Before I even met the way, I was training hard and on my own running, you know, and all the clubs was nearly shut in Dublin. They're all on holidays in the summer, except a few small places, you know. So it was really up to myself to get myself fit, and I just did it, you know.
Well, now, Mick Dowling, you've been through it all before, and you've been through a lot of international boxing. How does this one shape up to you?
Well, this one for me, no, I think it's got to be a big one, because this may be my last, certainly I suppose my last Olympic Games, you know. So before I came away, I had trained pretty hard, and for a little while I was a little bit tired, a little bit weary, and again I had the same problem as Christy, you know, with the clubs being closed and the boxers being resting and on holidays. So, you know, most of the time I was just sparring with my 2 brothers. But since I've come over here, I've been sparring absolutely every single day, you know.
So now, unlike Christy, you're familiar with a lot of the boxers in your weight. What sort of names do you fear most?
Well, you know, I know the names. With Levyshev of Russia, you have Costantino of France, Turpin of Great Britain, there's a Respondek of Poland, you have an O'Brien from Australia, you have Rodriguez of Spain, and quite a few others that I know. I know them just seeing.
And it's the 2 boys from Derry. Charlie Nash, how are you, Charlie?
How do you know?
And Neil McLaughlin, how are things?
Yeah. Oh, going pretty well, you know.
You always seem to me the coolest of all the boxers. Are you as cool as ever?
Well, I hope so. I don't know until I get in the ring, you know. I probably will be. I would say nothing really different. 2 arms, 2 legs, same as yourselves, I said.
Now, what about the opposition? Is anybody outstanding in your weight that you know of?
I didn't know until I come here, but Guido, Hungarian, supposed to be European champion.
When he won the Irish title, he stopped Terry McCarthy in the 3rd round to win, and he did it with a good left hook. Be interesting to see whether he can produce something like that here tonight. Married with a daughter, Elaine, 8 months old. And I think the pace is bound to be stepped up now. I think they've sized each other up. And Elliott certainly now, with that superior reach and height advantage, has got to get to work and keep popping his left hand in and out of the face of Farouk Kezrouan. I get the feeling that Elliott is taking time settling down here. Big occasion for him. And he doesn't look to me to be totally relaxed. Elliott now beginning to come into this a little more now, getting more confidence and letting the punches come a little more freely. One certainly feels he's got the ability to handle this man if he can just relax a bit. That's the Lebanese called it. Told off there for shouting to their man. Probably getting the signal to come on a bit. I think that might well suit Elliott rather better if Kesran did come to him. I think Elliott likes a man to move to him so he can counter. Last few seconds of the second round. Sneak right hand there from Kesran. So that's the end of 2 rounds, and Elliott hasn't really established himself against this man, and he's going to have to work to make sure of this in the 3rd round if he wants to get through to the last 16 of the light middleweights. Christy Elliott has boxed for Dublin against West Berlin. He got stopped there by a man called Daga, but he went to the USA, won 3 out of 3 there, and this year he also stopped Fajardo of Spain, in Spain. Kesran still looking strong, plenty left. There hasn't been a tremendous amount of action in this one. They haven't expended a lot of energy. So I imagine in this 3rd round now we shall see plenty of action. So everything now hanging on this final round of the light middleweight bout between Farouk Kesran of the Lebanon and the Irish light middleweight champion Christy Elliott, 21-year-old boxer from the Port of Dublin Amateur Boxing Club. And it's been a bout which hasn't really got going up to now, with Elliott with all the physical advantages, height and reach and footwork against this rather flat-footed Lebanese boxer, but hasn't really started to use them because I don't think he's relaxed. He looks a little rigid. And he's got to start letting the punches go. Kesran, obviously strong, but without a lot of talent. Elliott's done the better punching and he's put in more punches than Kesran, but he's never really got on top of the man. Not a bad last round though for Elliott. Beginning now to put them together, moving in and out. And Kesran now getting pinned on the end of that long reach. One minute to go. And this is where Elliott now really needs to work for the last minute now, just to make sure. .20 seconds. finishing it quite strongly and quite well. And although Kesruan has come back once or twice, I wouldn't think he's done enough to win, and I think Elliott's made it. There it is. So the end of that light middleweight bout. Christy Elliott of Ireland and Farouk Kesruan of the Lebanon. Well, the Irish have already got one boxer through the first bout, Neil McLaughlin, their flyweight. And we shall know in a few moments whether Christy Elliott has succeeded as well. I think he did enough myself, although he took time to get going. But I could never see that Kesruan was really working hard enough, never getting close enough to do much damage. The judges who will decide this one come from Finland and Romania, New Zealand, Kenya and Mexico. Kesruan, full of smiles, shakes hands with the Irish trainer. And the Cuban referee calls them back to the centre to await the result. The winner here will go forward to meet Peter Theopold of East Germany, who earlier beat Ion Gioffi of Romania. Christy Elliott, the Irish boy from the Port of Dublin club, wins his first bout at these Olympics and is through to the last 16 of the light middleweights. The 21-year-old Christy Elliott, number 162, boxing here against the southpaw Mexican, Emeterio Villanueva, and they're boxing for a place in the last 8 of the light middleweights. That's 11 stone 2.5 approximately. Christy Elliott, one of Ireland's team of 6, 4 still standing. And Elliott with lots of reach here against this Mexican, but Villanueva looking aggressive, solid and determined. And Elliott may have problems. Christy Elliott from the Port of Dublin Amateur Boxing Club, the 1972 Irish champion. The winner here going through to meet Peter Theopold of East Germany in the last 8, and that can't be easy. Little caution there to Elliott. And this has started at a pace which I wouldn't think could be kept up for 3 rounds. This is very much in the pattern of Elliott's previous contest on Tuesday night, when he took a lot of time to settle down against Kesruan of the Lebanon, but eventually came through well and won a 5-0 judge's verdict. And the pace already has slowed. I think the Mexican believed he might take Elliott completely out of his stride with a brisk start, but it hasn't worked. Now beginning to put the 1-2 punches together against the southpaw. And Elliott punching fast and with a lot of force, I would imagine. A good body punch there from Elliott. right into the pit of the stomach as we come towards the end of the first. And Elliott has shown enough already to indicate that he can win this. 21-year-old Christy Elliott, a container worker, but he hasn't worked for about 7 weeks now, from the Port of Dublin Amateur Boxing Club, who went with the Irish team on a trip to the United States this summer and was the only member of that team to win all 3 of his bouts. He's since been to Spain with the Irish team and he's won there too. He stopped Fajardo of Spain in the 3rd round. Here's the southpaw Mexican, Emeterio Villanueva, 26 years old. Same surname as a Filipino who won a silver medal at featherweight in Tokyo 64, but no relation.
Runde 2, reprise 2, round 2.
Elliott, number 162, having finished the first round in fine style, putting together lefts and rights against this strong Mexican southpaw. And there's a right hand and he's got him over. Opening seconds of the second. And Elliott really warmed up now and going places. And one more right hand like that against the southpaw will not do the Mexican any good at all. Villanueva cautioned for not punching correctly. Setting up a good attack against Elliott. Elliott bleeding from the nose and getting caught and having to take a standing count. So suddenly Elliott, from being right on top, has been taken completely by surprise and now looks to be in some trouble. And we're still not halfway through the second round. A good right hand again from Elliott, and he's done it again, but he's in trouble himself, and these two now are really taking everything out of each other. Elliott bleeding from nose and mouth, smashing this Mexican on the chin with right hands, and Villanueva takes them and comes back. What an extraordinary battle this is. Keep your head up. One-two from Elliott. The Mexican can't go on taking these right hands like this, surely. And Elliott on the ropes, taking them. Second standing count. Less than 20 seconds to go. Really remarkable contest. And now the Mexican gets a public warning for not punching correctly. Well, what do you know about that? It looked at the start of the second as though Villanueva was going to be quite quickly beaten. And then suddenly he produced strength and combination punches which instantly had Elliott in trouble. First drawing blood from Elliott's nose and then forcing him into a standing count. So what's going to happen in the third? That's anybody's guess. But all I know is that this is one of the hardest bouts I've seen him in Munich in this tournament, with a tremendous number of punches being given and taken on both sides. And although I suspect Elliott's got the harder single punch, the Mexican seems to be able to take it and come back. So we'll see what happens. Round number 3 coming up. One of the hardest bouts seen in Munich in this tournament. Christy Elliott, number 162 from Ireland, and the southpaw Mexican, Villanueva. A real fight to the finish, this. It's a hard right from the Mexican. And Elliott in trouble again, covering up on the ropes. Another count. And Elliott this time has to go down on one knee. And it looks as though the strength of the Mexican is going to come out on top. And the referee allows him to go on. But how much has Elliott got left? And he hasn't got enough left for the referee. Turkish referee, Mr. Komet, says that is enough for Christy Elliott. And the Irish boy, after putting up a tremendous battle and looking at one time as though he was going to win it, has been beaten in the final round, stopped by the southpaw Mexican, 26-year-old Emeterio Villanueva. And Christy Elliott gets a fantastic reception from this crowd at Munich. But Villanueva is the winner, and he goes through to the last 8 of the light medals to
Well, in the merry month of May, now from me home I started, left the girls in two, and nearly broken hearted saluted father dear, kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer, me grief and tears to smothered enough to reap the corn and leaf, for I was born, got a stout blackthorn, the banished ghost, and goblets, a brand new pair of brogues to rock the love of the bogs and frighten all the dogs on the rocky road. It's a double of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to here and turn them down the rocky road, and all the ways to double and make for Aldida. In Mullingar that night I rested limbs so weary, started by daylight next morning light, and there he took a drop of the pure to keep me heart and drink, and that's the paddy's cure. When there he's on for drinking, they hear the lassie smile, laughing all the while at me curious style. To touch a heart a bubble, and they asked me was I hired, and wages I required till I was almost tired of the rocky road. It's a double and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt a hare and turn them down the rocky road, all the way to Double and McFallaldy. In Double and next arrived, I thought it such a pity to be so soon deprived of view of that fine city. Then I took a stroll all among the quality bundle, it was stowel in a neat locality. Something crossed me mind when I looked behind, no bundle could I find upon me stick. Go on inquiring after the rogue, said me Conneth brogue, it wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road. To Double and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt a hare and turn them down the rocky road, and all the ways to Double and McFallaldy. From there I got away, me spirits never failing, landed on the quay just as the ship was sailing. Captain at me road said that no room had he. When I jumped aboard the cabin flew for Paddy, down among the pigs, did some hearty rigs and played some hearty jigs. The water round me bubbling when I fully had, I wished myself was dead or better far instead. On the rocky road to Double and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Double and McFallaldy. The boys of Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself the fool. I could no longer stand it, blood began to boil. Templar I was new as and poor old Aaron's Isle. They began abusing her me, so says I'm shillelagh I'll apply. Galway boys were by, and so I was a hobbling with the lower hooray. The giant in the affray quickly clear the way for the rocky road to Double and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Double and McFallaldy.
the sunlight through, departed into darkness. I need someone to the fantasy and you. Now is here is now. You inspire me some